Hey guys, new video here. Bestiary League just got released, so I wanted to just start maybe like a new video series where I just talk very candidly about my thoughts in a more like overarching manner. Um, and if you guys like these kinds of videos, I can keep doing them. Doesn't even have to be Path of Exile related. Whereas like on stream, on stream it's always like you never really know if anything's serious or not, right? And there's always like chat going on, so it's a little bit distracting. So I want to talk about Bestiary League and overall thoughts, and then and I'm gonna like separate it into like Bestiary League thoughts, and then maybe just thoughts on the other parts of the league that are not Bestiary related, because there's a lot of stuff that they're adding that has nothing to do with like the capturing of the monsters. And I apologize if I miss anything like that. I'll try not to. I have some different links up here to kind of help me out, but I'll try not to miss anything. But once again, apologies if I do. I just do these videos kind of like one takes. I'm really bad at editing still, so like I just don't edit. I just do a one take. So, anyways, let's talk about it. Trailer looked amazing. All the new. It looks really like flashy. New particle effects, new like characters, new zones, even like the menagerie and like things like that, or I don't know what it's called, but you know what I'm talking about. So basically the idea of the league is that you go around and you capture some dangerous beasts, right? And they're used, it's kind of like a crafting league. And you go around, you capture the beasts. Some of them are rarer than others. You use a net, and then this guy, Reinhardt Free, he comes and he puts it into your menagerie so you can use it later to do all kinds of cool stuff. And then there's challenges focused around like collecting these, I'm gonna guess, and then like you can have a bestiary, which is like a compendium tracking your progress. There is also you can it's like very visual as well. It looks kind of cool, so visually it's amazing, right? Beast crafting, like I said before, crafting these materials looks pretty interesting on the surface. There's obviously, with most league, there's like a new boss zone that you go into, new items, all that good stuff that's related to the league. For example, this is like a crab theme that we'll talk about in a little bit. New content for the highest of end game players, I guess, if you want to fight the Elder and Shaper at the same time. So that's pretty cool. Revamped Ascendancy, so that has nothing to do with Bestiary League. New gems, nothing to do with Bestiary Leagues, and dozens of faded uniques, nothing to do with Bestiary League. And then, of course, like new quests of these different items, divination cards, that doesn't have anything to do with Bestiary League. So let's talk about this. Overall, I'm not really that excited about Bestiary League, and you gotta. Once again, these are just my opinions. My opinions should not detract from the fun that you have. But for someone that's played the game for a while, it doesn't look that compelling to me. And there's a few reasons why. It might tie into the fact that I don't really like crafting. I always think it's way more efficient, and for me way more enjoyable to kill some monsters, take the currencies and just go to PoE trade, and then someone else who's spent the time and taken the risk has that item that's ready for sale, and then I can just buy that very specific thing for sure, right? Whereas crafting, you never know what you're really going to get, and it takes up a lot of time, in which I much more prefer to just kill monsters. And this kind of goes against that. It kind of slows, as you guys know, I kind of like to go a little bit fast in the league if I can, especially early on. Later on, it doesn't really matter, but early in the league, I think it's very anti-clear speed, very anti what an RPG is about, which is just killing a crap ton of monsters. And so let's first talk about something. I'll show you guys what I'm talking about here. So this is an IGN article, and there's a video here about capturing a monster. I'll just show it to you real quick, okay? So basically what's going on here is, I don't know if I can expand this like this. Oh man, you can't do that, never mind. It makes the thing all messed up. But just take a look at this. So what he did is he attacked the carrion a few times, right? And he's getting into low life. I'm guessing they didn't turn on any health bars or anything, which I think is super weird in these videos. But he's taken down to low health. He throws a net. The net has some kind of cooldown. It looks like it's a 5-second cooldown or something, which is absolutely ridiculous, I think. And then the guy comes out and steals the beast. Now Bex, as of right now, Bex has stated I saw a Reddit comment that said if you throw a net and you kill the monster right away, the guy still comes and you still get the credit for that, and you still get that added to your menagerie. So that's fine as well. But you can just see how annoying this is. he has to throw the net at the specific monster, right? And then the net has a cooldown. So let's say I'm farming a specific type of crab or insect or whatever, right? And I see like a pack of them, and some of them might be rarer than others, right? So you might see like a pack of like 5 or 6 of them. I don't think anybody uses like serious, like very exact non AOE, like direct damage dealing abilities that will only kill one mob these days. It's just not the case anymore. It's kind of the reason people don't like Elragon missions. And so what I can see is like, if I have to throw a net and then I have to wait 5 seconds to get the next pack, and I can't even kill them at that time for the fear of like, my AOE will kill the entire pack. I think that's a little bit silly. I think the net with a cooldown of maybe like, I don't know, half a second, 1 second would be totally fair. But if you watch this video, the net's cooldown is like, it's pretty insane. And then like there's a wait. So does it work? Like if I go off screen, there's like so many questions about this that slow everything down, right? And then like having to aim the net and everything. I mean, there's still no particle slider in the game, right? So that means like with the crazy amount of stuff that's going to be blowing up on your screen, I just don't know if it's gonna be it's gonna lead to some frustrating moments, I think, right? Especially with the more rare ones, and we'll talk about that in a second too. But I just want to imagine like I'm running through a map, I gotta like stop to check like every mob, and then if you look at the compendium stuff, where is it? Like right here, right? Like look how many there are. Like when I see this mob, that's a snack, right? And I look at the snack and I go, yeah, I mean I see those all the time. I probably the most memorable is like you go to like Vol Ruins, right, in Act 2 and like Northern Forest or whatever, and then like there's that red one, which is like a unique one. But for the most part, and even in the Chimera map, the T16, those snacks that come out, they all look the same to me, right? They all look exactly the same to me. And so when I see like this many snacks, like how am I gonna be able to tell those apart, right? Like you're telling me I have to like go into a map, right? And while I'm clearing, I wait and I put my mouse cursor over it, and I have to like read the snack's name to be like, is that a host cobra or a bramble cobra, right? Like, are you like, give me a break? Like I don't want to do that. I don't think anybody wants to do that. And then so like that's like super dangerous too, right? Like you gotta wait and you gotta like see like, hey, like which one of these am I capturing for the challenge? And then, once you get, I can see like once you get most of these filled up and you're looking for those last few, oh man, that's gonna be so annoying. And this is coupled with the fact, remember, you're going through a map, and most people, I don't think like clear speed zoom is even, like so elitist to of a playstyle anymore. Like most people are like any half decent build is clearing pretty fast or clearing with a decent AOE, and so you're just gonna like kill all these mobs a lot of time before you have time to even really react to them, right? Especially if these are like just the normal ones. These aren't like uniques or one of the more rare ones that Chris mentioned in this article. So I just feel like that's going to be kind of a nightmare, right? And the net issue, once again, like let's say I want to craft I want to craft like a bunch of some crafting recipe, which we'll take a look at in a second, and I gotta wait 5. So like if it takes like 3, I gotta wait like 15-20 seconds just to like get the white mobs. Like give me a break, all right? Like that seems a little bit iffy right there. Another thing that I'm a little bit worried about is right here. So according to Chris, I'm guessing he has like your average player in mind, and what he's saying is he's basically saying some of the monsters are very rare and you might only encounter them every 10 to 20 hours. And once again, I'm going to keep in mind like the average player. So for someone who can play all day and speed farm, I don't know, 2 hours, right? 3 hours, sure. But even then, like with the amount of damage that you can get these days in maps, and once again the particles, right? That's a huge issue with the particles that are on the screen, especially. Like, don't even get me started about group play. There's a really a very real issue with this for now, where you might just kill the mob before you can even get the net down, and then especially like think about like certain damage over time builds, right? You've thrown a net for another monster, and then on the next screen over, there's the legendary or like whatever the unique monster that you need, and now your net is on cooldown, and then you've like degen the mob and it dies or something. And I mean these are like really nitpicky, but I can totally see this happening, and it'd be like super annoying with the net cooldown and with how rare these are supposed to be. Once again, 10 to 20 hours for your average player, right? And so this just adds a whole level of, trying to search. It's kind of like, I kind of liken it to looking for an item through the default loot filter or something, right? Like you can do it, sure, that's totally fine, but it just seems extremely annoying to me. Okay, and once I'm going to go through all like the stuff I don't like first, so I can talk about the good stuff later. But yeah, I just feel like the system is cleverly designed. I mean, we'll see about that. And so that's one of my main concerns, right? So I don't know. I just don't really like that part of it. I mean, look at this. Like that's the snacks, the crustaceans. Like I mean, this big dude right here. That's very obvious. Okay, you can capture some of those, but like I want you to think back, like how many of you guys can actually differentiate the different like crabs? Like sure, like the ones on the coast in Act 1 don't have like the little like circular shell thing. They're just like regular crabs, but like I mean these right here, like when have you ever seen a different variation of these? Like and look at that. There's like a scroll bar here, like give me a break, okay? Like that just seems like super annoying. And another thing is like as kind of like an end game player, like I like maps, I like doing bosses later on. If I go through the trouble of like spotting all of these and then adding them to this bestiary, what do I get for that? I don't get anything. I might get a challenge for it or something, sure, but it doesn't add anything to your character. I think like character customization is like so important for the longevity of the game, which is why people get so excited over like new unique items and skill gems, which once again we will talk about later. But this stuff, it doesn't add anything to like like what if it's like I get every crustacean, and even if I get 1% physical and elemental damage reduction, 1% for getting every single thing, that would be something, and that would drive me to do every single one of these for sure, because people like to min max. But you don't get anything, as far as I know, you don't get anything for doing this, right? I don't know. It just doesn't. It just doesn't seem very very juicy to me, but. Yeah, once again, it's just my opinion. Populating the menagerie, like this is cool, right? Like look at this thing. It looks beautiful. Look at that T-Rex, Crimson T-Rex Roa or whatever that is. Little fireplace here. You got Reinhardt right there. Now, this looks good on paper, and it's nice to have these like flashy things in the game to kind of, I guess, not like world build, but just give a little bit of flair, right, to make the game feel a little bit more fleshed out. But when I think about it, like if I have these monsters in here, like I'm using them to craft, right? And like you're telling me I gotta go into like the menagerie, I gotta zone in. Do I like? Why wouldn't these just be in the crafting tables that were shown, right? Like you can just see how many you have if you can do it. So like who's gonna like? Do they expect us to like walk around and be like, oh, I have 3 spitters here, 3 porky peacocks, and like 2 crabs, like you're very rarely going to be walking through here, right? And especially if you're like a unique monster like this T-Rex, like you're going to be using this for some kind of juicy crafting recipe, so you're not even going to have this very long, right? Like it's going to be used and then it's empty. So it's like flashy, but it doesn't really serve any real purpose. And if you do have to like walk through and like look how many you have or whatever, no, I should just be like the crafting table, right, with a number or something. But I like the thought though. This will be like better graphics and like more zones and all that stuff. It's always cool, so whatever. Beast crafting. Okay, so this is like a big part of Bestiary League, right? So if you liked Essence League, I guess, or if you're a new player, I think you're really gonna like this, because Essence League was all about crafting. There's some monster release instead of monster capture, but same thing. You craft some cool stuff with some of them could be like unique effects, like insanity, horror, delirium, all that stuff. But like I look at this, right, and like yeah, a new player is gonna be like, cool, I can craft something with fire res, which will fill out the res I need. But like I look at this, I'm just like what? Are you kidding me? Like this isn't exciting at all. And there's some like other stuff we'll take a look at in a second, but I mean, come on now. Like, okay, like it's nothing unique here, and then okay, so nothing needs to be said there, right? Now let's take a look at this. Create a rare map with at least 4 mods. And look at this. It takes 4 of these monsters to do it, right? Like 4 of these monsters and 4 of these like generic mods. I don't know what these symbols mean. Maybe this means unique or something, or maybe it's placeholders. But or maybe this means that you actually have the monster, and maybe black grayed out means you don't have the monster in your menagerie, which makes sense. But like, craft a map with 6 mods for 4 of my monsters. Like, I could just use 1 Vol Orb and get an 8 mod map or an un-ID'd map, like with less hassle, right? And like better returns. And so that's, I'm just like, okay, it's kind of weird, but maybe new players will like this or something. So yeah. And then like you look at the cages, right? So let me just show you real quick. Like if I look at this, I got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's like not that many sets. I'm guessing you get like a cage of each type. But like if it takes 4 monsters, beasts, I guess, to craft like something like this, that's like not that many crafts before I need to go out and get like, 20, 30, 40, 50 beasts again. Are you kidding me? Come on now. 1 white saga, 2 white saga. Yeah, that's kind of cool, I guess. That's nice. I might use this for like, offhand leveling stuff for more convenience, but it's kind of cool. And then like superior granite flask. Are you kidding me? Create a skill gem, a superior movement skill gem, like between 1 and 20% quality for 4 monsters. Like, come on now. Okay, what else was there? And then there's also things like you split an item in 2. Now this is kind of cool because like for 3 monsters, let's say you're a lucky ducker and you get a elder shaper background piece of jewelry, like an opal ring, like something juicy like that, right? And you just split it in 2. You just craft some like random stuff on it, and then you split it in 2, and now you've doubled that, right? It's like, and for like 3 monsters, oh, okay, that's awesome. That's like, for economy wise, some of this stuff could be really cool, but like, granite flask, reroll socket colors. Are you kidding me? Like Richie already does that. So unless it's something like very exact, like you use like 4 legendary beasts and you get exactly the colors you want, like, come on. So that's, I'm not really excited about that. But once again, I'm coming from the viewpoint that I don't really like crafting that much. If you guys like crafting, maybe you guys will find some more stuff. And if you look at the scroll wheel here, it's pretty big, right? So there could be some really juicy stuff down the line. Okay. And so this is like, this is kind of cool, but this is all about like, how like Breaches had Breach Lords, and then like this league had like Liches, Harbinger had like the what's it called? Beachhead or whatever, and there's like bosses in there, kind of. So this is just like the kind of like mid to upper tier end game for this league, right? You use, and from an article here, it's basically you use the beast you capture. I'm guessing you're gonna need like a couple legendary ones or something to open a portal into the beast lands, and you fight I'm guessing like a spectral tiger, maybe a crab, maybe a cat. I'm guessing this is a cat for the aspect of the cat stuff. Maybe like a bird of some kind. I don't even know. But and then if you are able to kill it, you get like one of these drops of the corresponding boss. And I think that's kind of cool. It's always nice to have like Breach Lords are a lot of fun. I'm still doing Breach Lords to this day just because I really like farming Breach Lords for like that amulet and like all other stuff. So that's kind of cool, but we'll see how hard it is to get the mats to open the portals, because once again, if a legendary is, but some of them are very rare, between 10 and 20 hours, you might not. And remember, you have to capture it yourself, so there might be some trade opportunities there. People selling like a legendary beast, or I guess like I'm sure there'll be a Reddit thread popping up like, this guy's scamming the cat beast in trade 820, and like weird stuff like that. But you have to capture it yourself, so right, so you can't just like buy the beast from someone else, which I think is like whatever. It'd be cool if you could buy the beast, but like you're not going to be experiencing too many spirit lands, is I guess that's what they're called, if the monsters that there. But they can adjust that later on, like they did with Abyss League, so whatever. But my initial thing is like, new players, and maybe even players who are like just zooming through massless, like one-shotting all the legendary beasts before they can get their net out. You might not be seeing too many spirit lands, and you might just be going to PoE trade again to to buy the item you need. Okay, so we can talk about some of these items. Like this is obviously crab themed. I'm guessing, we don't know for sure what aspect of the crab is, but I'm guessing it's some kind of thing where you gain the crab barriers over time, and then they have some kind of physical reduction interaction somehow, right? And they like shed the layers as you get hit, right? Based on this, like, you know, you only lose 7 crab barriers when you take fizz damage instead of, like, I don't know, 10 or 20 or whatever it is. Okay, maybe it removes all damage. Who knows? So a thing that some people are concerned about is like set items, right? Like now there's like basically a complete set. It doesn't like say set item on it, but the unique modifiers definitely have a big synergy to them. For example, this is plus to crab barriers. You get the actual aspect of the crab, which I'm guessing grants you the crab barriers, and these gloves make it so that, like, this is basically the Inya's boots of crab barriers, right? Inya's epiphanies, I believe they're called, is when you gain power charges, you have a 25% chance to gain like max power charges. Well, this one's a 10% chance when you gain a crab barrier, you instead gain up to 10. So it's kind of like inspired by that. So this obviously synergizes with the aspect. This one, of course, like you only lose 7 crab barriers, and then if you have 10 or more, you can't be stunned, right? So like a free Brine King pantheon right there if you can stay above 10, right? I don't really know what the max is, but you can imagine it's something probably like 50 or something, I don't know. And so that synergizes with the aspect chest as well. And then of course the this is basically 8% up to 8% block chance if you have like those numbers of crab barriers listed here, and then like you can't lose crab barriers if you lost crab barriers recently, which is 4 seconds. So like this is basically a set, right? And people are like, oh man, Diablo, you know, sets, like it makes it so that you use that thing and that thing only, and it becomes the best. And if you use anything else like rares, it's trash. Well, this is a defensive one, okay? Like let's not get ahead of ourselves, but like it's good and bad. It's bad because like defensive stuff isn't really that exciting to me. Maybe if you play hardcore, you can make some kind of crazy defensive, like max block, absolutely immune to all kinds of hits build. But I think sets are okay for defenses because even ever since like the nerf of ES, you know, there's not that many defensive options that are fun. Okay, ES was like super fun because the gearing curve was like you just get jazzed all the time. But this like life and like evasion stuff is not very fun. Okay, so like having this kind of cool defensive mechanic, I think it's nice, and it doesn't matter. It's not like if this was offensive based, right? And if there's some sets that are like super offensive based, and it becomes like the fastest boss killer or the fastest map clear, then you might have some issues, right? Because then like that set is like, oh man, that kind of kills build diversity, which is like huge in a game like this that's plans to be around for a long time. And then also like you just know another bad thing is you just know that thing's gonna get nerfed, right? If there's something that's like that good and it's a full set, they're just gonna nerf it to like bring diversity. That's how they've always done things, and although I don't agree with it, that's just how it is, right? So that's another bad part about it. So for now we have a defensive set. I don't think defensive sets are that bad, once again, because life and evasion, all that's super boring. Okay, so there's also stuff like aspect of the cat and probably some other stuff that we've seen like later down here. Where is it? Like I'll just bring this up because this is tied into Beast League, because aspect of the cat, aspect of the crab, these are things that are tied to beasts. And I mean, like, we don't know what this is, right? I'm guessing cat is more offensive, crab sounds more defensive. You know, you get those two claws that are like blue and red and one-handers, and then you complete your crab cosplay. Okay, so kind of cool, but we don't know what this is, so new items, whatever. I'll show you the best part about this league that I think, and it's right here. So if you take a look at this thing, this is the harpy pack. I have some extra stuff on the head, but it doesn't matter. Look at this harpy like flying around. That is badass, right? And if you look at the shadow, where is it? Like, look at that shadow. When it flies around, it becomes huge, and it looks really, really good. I like this pack a lot. So I think the MTX is on point. I don't like the is it Chimera pack? No, I don't like the I don't know, whatever. It's Chimera version 2, right? I don't even know what it's called. It's called a Manticore supporter pack. Okay, isn't it Manticore and Chimera the same thing? I don't know. But it just looks exactly like the Chimera set, except for the ground effect is a lot cooler. Pet's really not that great. But I recommend the Harpy set. It looks really, really good. It's the best part about the challenge league, I think. Okay, so that's basically Bestiary League. Overall, like TLDR, I should put that at the beginning. It feels like the net cooldown feels too long. Okay, collecting the thing in the compendium, it seems like a complete nightmare and against what ARPGs should be, in my opinion. Legendary stuff and the crafting recipes don't seem that great so far. And then items can be hit or miss. We'll see as the league goes on. Okay, so that's the beast stuff out of the way. You know, Pokemon League, yeah, whatever. It could be fun. If you're once again, if you're a new player, you're gonna love this. You're gonna love this stuff. Okay, you're gonna be jazzed. Returning players, people who like to zoom, might be a little bit iffy. We'll see though. We'll see. I've always said that after I was impressed in Harving the League with how they were able to announce a change they wanted to make to kind of fix the league, and they were able to do that in a week or less than a week the first time, and the second round of balance passes it was like 3 or 4 days or something, right? I was like very impressed by that. So they have shown that in league, if something comes up that the community really hates, they can change it quicker than like any other company I've seen. So it's amazing. It's same with like liches. Liches took a little bit longer, but I didn't really care about liches anyway, so maybe I didn't feel it. But they were able to change lich spawn rates like twice, I think, and a bunch of other things really fast. So that's all good. Okay, so let's talk about the other stuff here. I think I have right here. Okay, so Bestiary League announcement, we already talked about that. Spectral, so skill gems and ascendancy. This is big. This is I wanted to talk about this separately because I don't put this in. I don't put this as part of the Beast Challenge League. I just think this is like game overall, okay? And this is going to start becoming the stuff that I really enjoy. So you take a look at this this item here, and this is Spectral Shield Throw. Once again, active skill gems and like cool items, I think are the most fun part when you've been playing this game for a long time, right? Like if you've been playing more than a couple years, this is the stuff you get really excited about because you're gonna that when the new stuff comes out, there's gonna be cool videos coming out, there's gonna be cool mechanics, there's gonna be cool uniques that interact with it, and it's another build that you can play for a few days to a few weeks, depending on the kind of person you are. So Spectral Shield Throw, it throws a copy of your shield, and then it can't pierce, right? It can't chain, but deals offhand damage augmented by the defenses, so ES, evasion, armor, things like that. And then it collides and it shatters. So it's like, if you look at some videos of this, it's basically a relatively slow-moving projectile with relatively slow-moving shattered projectiles that kind of are like a really small light poacher effect, right? Where it shoots out in like omnidirectional, and so it does damage twice, I guess. And so the modifiers that cause additional projectiles, so LMP, volley, GMP, it doesn't throw out more shields. It throws out more projectiles after the shield explodes, right? And so that's an important thing to note. So basically, it's a base crit of 5, and the crit goes up per maximum ES shield. So it wouldn't be like per 10 maximum ES per shield, you get 0.1. So it wouldn't be out of the question to get like 7% base if you're going to go ES. Projectiles deal less damage, as they should, because there's like so many of them initially, like 8 at like initially. That's pretty darn good. So if you put things like Herald of Ice, and you get like real coverage. I don't think you'll need GMP, LMP that much, but we'll see. One thing that is to be noted is I wonder if this 13 to 19 base fizz damage will, I wonder if that'll actually scale up like from level 1 to 21, right? If that becomes pretty big, it could be nice with like conversion and stuff. And then added fizz per 15 armor or evasion. So like evasion shield, I was looking at PoE trade, like currently I saw some 2000. So 2000 evasion is like 100 and divided by 15. What is that? Hold on, let me just check. 2000 divided by 15, right? So if you're full evasion, it's like 133. So like 400 top end, right? 260 bottom end, and then with the base, that's depending on how this scales and stuff. I mean, that's a hefty amount of base damage, right? And with conversion and stuff, it could be very strong. 20% more attack speed, right? So like, I'm wondering like the base, like what is like the base attack speed of the shield? Like that's something that I'm kind of wondering, but we'll see. 20% more attack speed, not bad though, right? So this is like something really interesting. You can play out your Captain America fantasies. You can, with chain, it could just look really cool. Basically, imagine like a light poacher just bouncing around all over the place, right? a little bit slower. If you look at the videos, once again, one thing that concerns me is the shield, like the initial shield toss and the projectiles look kind of slow. So faster proj, if it affects both the shatters and the initial shield, maybe you'll have to go faster proj because it looks pretty darn slow to me. But this is like exciting stuff, right? Like this is just, oh boy. So I'm excited about this this skill. And one more thing about this is that it's a spectral shield throw. So the MTX on your shield actually is what it looks like, and that creates, you know, some nice MTX opportunities. You guys know me, I love MTX, so that's cool. Summon Phantasm, this is like pretty badass. Like I imagine putting this on Solar Guards. Like Solar Guards to me are the best like jack of all trades summoner skill. I think it's better than SRS in almost every way. It looks cooler, it's better for map clearing, all that stuff. So I think you would lose like you know, probably like a 30 or 40% more multiplier on your Solar Guards. If you were to use this, I think it would be the best on that. And instead you get like 5 of these little Phantasms, which are little gray dudes that shoot out a piercing projectile spell, right, that deals fizz damage. And with the abyssal jewels that have been stated to be added to the game, like I think it's going to be worth, I think the 40% more multiplier that you'll lose from that extra support gem on your Solar Guards will be made up for the massive amount of damage that these 5 things can do. Okay, like I think they're going to do some juicy damage. They might even be broken at some point, right? It's not uncommon to have sometimes something that's like completely broken and Grinding Gears says like, you know, it was a bug and just nerf it. So this could be pretty crazy with abyssal jewels. You know, Scourge, of course, like it's going to be really good. I think very, very good, and it's going to look amazing. You have more monsters on the screen if they can die and stuff. I don't know if like their Phantasm makes it seem like they're maybe immortal. If they can die though, you know, you can. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah, if they can die, meaning if they can take damage and soak up damage, like from projectiles and stuff, then it's even more protection for you, right? Because more bodies on the screen, monsters will be attacking different things. They'll be, you know, it'll be blocking projectile damage, spell damage for you. So really nice. I like this skill. And once again, MTX wise, it's crazy good. Like it just looks cool. Next we have 2 teased Ascensies. Once again, these could change in the future, maybe not like final, but this is cool. They said that they're gonna do a balance pass of, maybe not even balance pass, just like a reworking of all the Ascendancies, right? All 19 Ascendancies, and that's crazy. That leads to some really, really nice stuff to be made, right, when it comes to builds. So the Berserker, basically the Pain Reaver got changed to attack damage. So like if you're a spellcaster, you can't get the 1 in 3% leech, right? Cloaked in Savages is exactly the same. Aspect of Carnage is the same. So it just transitioned it more into a attack-based theme. And then the new addition is the Rage system, right? So basically you're gonna, I see a lot of builds taking Pain Reaver, Aspect of Carnage, and then going all the way up into Warbringer, these 4. So these 2, these 4. And what this is doing is, it's more of a, like an ebb and flow, like temporary buff thing, I guess, that is more fitting of the theme of a Berserker, right? Like taking the damage, right? You're degenning a lot, you're gaining attack damage, attack speed, and I think this is a buff. I actually think this is a buff for a what's it called? For a Berserker that's doing maps, this is a big buff. You're moving faster, you're attacking faster, the damage is very nice. You still have your 40% more, you still have your leech here, Cloaked in Savagery, you're one-shotting the entire map, so you're not really taking that much damage. So Cloaked in Savagery doesn't even matter. Warbringer, the base, like if you take a look at like an Enduring Cry, it's a 4-second cooldown. This makes it a 2-second cooldown, so basically you're just think about it, you're regenerating 12.5% life per second, right? Or 25% life per 2 seconds. If you just like spam that button, put it on your side mouse key, you hit it with all your flasks, I mean, you're gonna be regenerating like crazy, you're gonna be getting raged like crazy, and I think it's really good. Now, like some people don't like the whole temporary thing and how it like you can just drop rage and then you're not as effective under certain conditions, and this and that, and like losing the 0.2 max life, and because the effect is doubled with Rite of Ruin, you might be like, you gotta do some weird stuff to keep it up. no, this is a buff. This is pretty cool for mapping. Okay, so like this is the kind of stuff that I like, where they change something where you gotta think a little bit, at least in the beginning of the league, to find good builds that or like a play style that kind of makes you excited about the game, and then you figure out the best way to use this stuff. And I think that's great. So that's pretty cool there. Chieftain, I've never played a Chieftain. I have no idea what's going on here. I don't even know like which one of these are different and which one is like not like is kept the same. I know that the 100% fire res probably wasn't there. And that's kind of nice, because 100% fire res means that you can use more uniques, right? And I like that a lot, right? It opens up gearing options there. As for like all this stuff, I've never really played a build with endurance charges, so I don't really know. But from what I've seen, it all looks pretty good. More multipliers here in terms of taking damage. So like this one, if they get covered in ash, right, that's basically 20% more, or increased fire damage taken is basically a 20% more modifier. You don't have any others. And there's this one down here where like if enemies near your tomes take 16% increase, that's additive, I believe. So that's like they take 36% more damage. Right, so that's like another link right there. It's like kind of rivals, if you're doing all fire damage, it kind of rivals the Berserker 40%. Well, I mean, not exactly, because one of them is conditional. Like this one's near your totems and covered in ash and stuff, but like it's pretty cool. And like penetration is always nice there. Extra damage. A lot of this stuff is like conditional, which once again the community might be split on, right? Like having things that are based on like procs, like charges on something happening in the game is always going to be a little bit iffy, because if that thing doesn't happen, you might as well not even have that point. But I like the direction that they're going here, right? So that's nice right there. Unique items, we already talked about the Creachiani's Carapace and all this stuff. Like that's the crab stuff. But you take a look at some of these other things. We'll just go here. Actually, this is better to look at here. Let's scroll down, and well, we can talk about Uber Elder first. Basically, I looked at the video, and there was a video for it. It's just going to be Elder and Shaper at the same time. So you have like the Elder doing his summoning of portals with like random mobs that will try to booty blast you. You have the Elder shooting the little spiky ice darts at you. You have, the Zana phases. You have like the spreading AoE. You have like all that stuff. And then add in a Shaper that's throwing in the balls, covering the ground in the black stuff, and beaming you, and maybe if he summons a clone to like auto attack you, like all that stuff will be pretty interesting. And so like mobility will be really really important in here, and obviously like fat damage to, if you have enough good coverage, and especially things like Volatile Dead where it seeks it out for you to kill portals fast enough, then you only really need to worry about the Shaper, right? Because like the phasing of like positioning in Zana, positioning inside the circles of the Elder portion of the fight was always like kind of a joke. So if you can kill the portals fast enough with good enough damage and good enough gear, you're basically just fighting a Shaper fight, and that's pretty cool. I mean, not really. It's not really going to be that hard. If you've done Shaper like a billion times, and you've done the Elder a few times, like it won't be that bad. They said that no one at Grinding Gear has finished the fight right as of now, but I'm guessing that's because they don't have good gear. They probably have like test server gear where they simulate the average player experience, and then also like they're probably like working most of the time. They probably don't want to play the game that much when they go home, maybe, I don't know. And so I'm guessing that's the reason, but 1,000 hours. So we'll see about that, okay? So that's really cool. The highest of endgame content has always been Mortal of Zulu and Shaper, right? And Shaper gets really stale. Shaper, I've always said, once you've done it like 5 times, it's not that hard, okay? And then, Elder right now is a complete joke. Mortal Zoo is actually kind of hard, but, with the right builds, you just skip all the phases, right? Like Glacial Cascade, Minor, and stuff like that. Skips the entire thing. So, like, this will be kind of nice to have, like, 2 different things to worry about, right? Because, like, if you're a Minor and you're killing the phases, like, the mobs that are spawning everywhere could still be kind of a threat, right? Because in Mortal Zulu, there's no threat of extra mobs. In Shaper Realm, if you just, like, instantly kill them, you don't have to deal with like like a few seconds of like randomness going on there. It's not that hard, but maybe this will bring some kind of a base level of toughness to some of the crazier builds. But I'm sure there's gonna be stuff that's gonna destroy it AFK mode, right? So that's nice. Always nice to have the highest end game. And they said that they like this is like for the top 1%, or like maybe only a few people will do this. Like in this article, Chris said that he thinks there's gonna be like there's only gonna be like 8 people that use the stuff that drops from the hardest fight, right? Like the void quiver and stuff like that. I don't think that's true. Like, hopefully, I'll really hope that more people play the game than that. All right, like let's be honest here. If only 8 people are using a unique item, then I mean, your game's in a little bit of trouble. So that's pretty cool. Oh, also, I forgot to talk about this, unannounced, but I mean the name is right here, Tectonic Strike. So obviously that's Tectonic Strike. From the video that we saw in the trailer, Tectonic Strike looked exactly like Sunder, except for a little bit wider. It didn't have any like secondary effects that I saw, so it just looks like Sunder. But I mean, until we see the gem, I guess they're gonna make something cool. I mean, it's more AoE, so I don't know. It just looked like Sunder to me. I don't think I'll ever play Sunder, so that wasn't that exciting. But these two, oh, so juicy. And like the dozens of new uniques. So we got new Prophecy stuff, and like Navali, I thought Prophecy and Warbands were like 2 of the worst leagues ever, but with how many? 30 new Prophecy items. There could be some really OP stuff. Like remember like Void Heart back in the day, stuff like that. If there's stuff like that, I mean, I'm gonna be really jazzed. Like this quantity, maybe that can be divined to like 20% or something. But move speed, quantity on low life, like that's pretty cool. This is Penquetzalatzli. I googled that actually. I put into Google Translate. I had the person pronounce it, Penquetzalatzli, and whatever. This is. Okay, it's whatever. This is kind of whatever. Like some of these there's always going to be those bad uniques. Their philosophy is you need the bad uniques to really make the good ones shine, right? And to like teach players about the game. So that's fine. These are 3, not too worried. There's going to be 27 more, and I guarantee you there's going to be some OP stuff that will get nerfed. Well, not nerfed. It's a bug, guys. Okay. There are no nerfs. There's only fixing up bugs. And so there's going to be some nice stuff in there for you guys. One thing that kind of annoys me is like I got to get the silver coins and go to Navali and all that stuff. But if you looked at some of the screenshots, there was a Navali like seal all prophecies or get all new prophecies from the beast crafting. So maybe that'll be okay. That's probably what I might use all mine for, to get a completely new set of 6. How many is there? Like 6, 8 prophecies. I don't even know. So I don't know. I've always thought Navali was kind of a hassle, right? Kind of like how Sextants are a hassle, but just the reward's not that great as Sextants. So cool, okay? And much more. So content update 3.2 has a new quest in Act 10. I'm guessing that's going to be like this Kitava piety mishmash guy. 29 new unique items. So that's 29 plus 30. What is that? That's like 70 new unique items. Okay, just kidding. It's 59. I can actually do the math. So 59 new unique items overall. Man, that's badass. And 29 uniques. There's gonna be some broken stuff. Okay, there's gonna be Light Poacher version 2. There's gonna be like Headhunter version, 1.5. There's gonna be some interesting stuff. And basically, like, you look at things like this, like I like stuff like this because they're just like adding all these different charges. Right? Light Poacher has charges, like crab shelters have charges, I guess, and crab barriers, I think they're called. And this has like siphoning charges. These look a lot more reliable though, like, and it's a lot of damage. I mean, this is cool. I mean, you have to use a 2-hander Maelstrom staff, but like, look at this. This is cool stuff. A lot of physical added. You got the leech. You got the someone's gonna make some cool like 9 Shaper Elder item build. Okay, and that's cool. It's gonna be very powerful. Georgian's gaze. Like, look at this. A summon a petrification statue. Like, these are essentially new skills, right? Like, they might be bad skills, or they might be skills that like, it's not even worth casting sometimes. If petrification, that sounds like slowing down a monster, right? Like Meducus in Greek lore or whatever, or Roman lore, with the snakes for the hair. Okay, so we got some life, got some attack speed, got some reduction. I mean, that stuff's cool. Some people might might use that. Aspect of the cat here, so that's a new thing. So like new stuff is always going to be good. You never know like the interactions they're going to have with other unique items, with like things already in the game. Oh, it's going to be so great. And then Elder's Orb, like this is very exciting depending on how it works. I don't know if like by this time I haven't looked at the Gigi tracker, so I don't know if there's any clarification, but if this is upgrading a map on the Atlas permanently, it'll be just fantastic. From what we've seen in these articles, somewhere in here they said that you upgrade the map, and then in that tier 16 map, you have the chance of the Uber Shaper Elder, right? If it's one use, that's gonna be pretty garbage, right? If it's just one use, oh my god, just kill me right now. But if it is permanent and I can upgrade, people will upgrade like, vaults, channies, strands, maybe not strands anymore because the sexton thing is just like not worth it. All these maps that you really enjoy to tier 16, essentially it wipes out all the, if you can sustain, it wipes out all the XP nerfs, right? Because let's say I leveled last league from tier 9s and 10s. And going from a tier 9 to 10 to a tier 16 is a massive more multiplier to my XP. So it essentially wipes out all the XP nerfs, and getting to level 100 this league, if you want to spend the monies, okay, to sustain and all that stuff. Like imagine Channies, right? 4 white sextons for a red map that's tier 16. Give me a break. It's going to be extremely easy to get level 100s this next league, if that's something that you wanted to go for, and this orb works the way I think it does. Then yeah, it's going to be great. What else is there? I mean, we gotta wait the next few days for other revamped Ascendancy classes. That's gonna be very interesting. Open up new build possibilities. So yeah, everything besides Bestiary stuff really excites me. But yeah, that's about it. Okay, hope you guys enjoyed the video. See you guys later.